Welcome to the Jimmy Palumbo Show. That's right. Show number 137 or one Casey Stengel. 137 of these shows. Jimmy Palumbo sporting the new Absolute Eyewear glasses by Craig Machad here from the Omni in downtown Mawa, from the wonderful dining room studios, of course, across the glass. Dave Sturchio from Chop Sports Media Studios, capital of the world, entertainment genius, wrestling, Cowboys, Jets, everything else. Dave Sturchio.
You just lump the Jets in there?
Yeah, because you're Miles, a big Jets fan.
Yeah, Miles, huge Jets fan.
Welcome aboard Show 137. How we doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Cowboys coming off another dominating victory on Sunday, so that was fun. And today, as we record this, it's Halloween, so I got the kiddos ready to go and ready to rock and roll. And then I'm going to once again, for I guess this is the fourth straight year, implement the dad tax and make sure that I get all the candy that I personally need from these kids. And then
I agree.
Welcome to Joe Biden's America. Everything's
a lot of Reese's going on over there here, Che. Well, yes.
Already.
Well, first of all, I saw your picture of your kids online there, and of course, no matter what happens, whenever you see Miles, there's always a little strip of the green right there, and he's wearing the Hulkster. He's wearing the amazing Hulk. What do you call it? Incredible Hulk? Incredible Hulk,
yeah.
He looks like a linebacker on the Jets in the upcoming years. So, well, happy Halloween to everybody. I actually loathe Halloween by far.
I'm not a big Halloween guy either. I think as I get older, it's just like kind of the allure. I'm not a whore or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a girl that can go dress out in skimpy outfits and shit.
No,
I get a kick out of this shit. And I'm not calling them all whores. I'm just saying, like, that's just like.
No, it's just you got to get dressed. People have parties.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's a hassle, the whole thing. You know what? I'm not a fan. I mean, when I was younger, it was just a day to go get candy, but I was never into the.
Right.
But when you have kids, you got to get involved here. Jay knew, and you completely get into it. Matter of fact, my daughter might be going trick or treating, but she's in 9th grade. You know what they do now? It's like, Daddy, can you take us to this other part of town? It's shitty by us. Like, what? No. I gotta take her to the section where. You know what I got to do? I got to take her to the section where the houses look like more where I grew up, where there's like every 7 feet there's a house. You can get more bang. But then they get bored and they want to come home after an hour and just make marshmallows or something.
Fucking pillowcases. I wouldn't stop for candy to last me to the next Halloween. Before you get into your card, there is a funny story that happened trick-or-treating based this past Sunday. So obviously the Giants and Jets will get to that game. Or if that is a game, we'll get to that. But the Cowboys are already taking care of business. The Giants are about to go to overtime. So we'll talk about the game in a little bit. But we went out trick-or-treating. It's already pouring rain out. So I was like, man, this stinks. Like, I don't want to do this. But the kids are into it. They don't care about the rain, blah, blah, blah. First house we go up to.
Time out. You went trick-or-treating Sunday?
Yeah, like my stepsister has like this community thing where like the whole town and a couple streets get together on the Sunday before Halloween and they do their trick-or-treating. Like the whole town is aware that trick-or-treating is going to take place a couple days prior. So like I'm like that's
a separate podcast right there.
Dropped off at houses, like they're getting back in the cars. They're getting back in the cars to have driven another 20 feet to get out of the car again. But the first house, I have to say, and I hope she's listening somewhere out there. We pull up to the house, walking up there, we're all in the rain. And my brother goes, man, that's creepy, bro. There's a woman in that window upstairs, and she's just staring at us. And like the father or the dad or the husband is the one giving out the candy at the door. So there's a woman staring, and then and I'm like, the more I look at her, I'm like, guys, she's naked, like she's butt naked, looking at us, and I don't know if she thinks that we can see her. Swear to God.
And the Knicks.
I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? And I'm not seeing things, right? I'm looking around. I'm like, no, she's naked. And like, as the dad's like, happy Halloween, everybody. I'm like, your wife's tits are phenomenal. And I walk.
I think that costume is the best costume of all time.
Me too.
It's cheap,
cost effective. You know, like Yeah, just standing in the window, like just staring. And I was like, I don't know if she thinks she's thinking it's a two-way mirror. Like, listen, I see everything here.
And Dave Sturchio checking out some hey nolly nolly hey here at Shay. And listen,
and
if
the
that
walking up the thing, and she's like, "What are you looking at?" I'm like, I don't know. Walk in the next house.
if that's the case, I think every town should do this Sunday before. The only thing is, there's one disclaimer that a lot of the voters do not read. Your wife has to go to the second floor and be naked in front of the window. That is Halloween.
I mean,
first of all,
or treat.
Trick or treat or titties here. First of all, what is this Sunday before? That is complete bullshit.
I think it's bullshit too. Listen, I got to rush home today eventually. Like, I got a couple shows I got to do, and then I got to get home and do the trick-or-treating thing. But it's like, I guess it kind of works in regards to it gets darker early. So maybe they want to get some afternoon stuff. It's a weekend, But I will say, like, don't do it on a Sunday during football either. Like,
you can't be. I mean, God,
you asshole community.
Yes, it's stupid.
The Cowboys took care of business. I was waiting on the Jets. Then they were going to overtime. I was like, I can't leave now. I was like,
why are we moving shit around? Halloween, you come home from school, you throw your shit on. If your kids are younger, you got to walk around with them. If you're a dad or mom, you got to figure it out. And that's how it goes. But we're moving shit around. But anyway, happy Halloween to those who are clothed. So, listen, Dave Sturchio, after a fine, you know what? I think you were so excited the Cowboys won that you just saw tits. I was like,
wow, this day just keeps getting better. Like, this is a great one.
Because as a Giant fan, I just saw burlap bags covering every woman for the next 10 hours. But okay, of course, we digress here at Shea. I have a card here. A guy you're probably not going to know either. I thought he was much better. I love when I find a guy like, everybody remembers him. And I'm like, he stunk. He just was average. His name is Jim Spencer. Played with the Yankees. You remember Spencer?
No.
This is a 1980 card here.
Yeah,
he played 15 years in the bigs, batted 250, 1,200 hits, 600 RBIs, 146 home runs. I mean, that is, he was
worthy, really.
I mean, the only thing I remember about him is he was a really good. He went like seasons without making an error. He also had a unique style of catching the glove on plays that were when the guy was out. He would catch the ball with his glove this way and kind of like over close to his body, not like out, like
So that's Coach Lou right there. Like, nice catch, Hayes. Don't ever fucking do it again.
Exactly what it was. But he was he played first base in DH. He was basically with the Yankees. Chris Chambliss' backup, really, who would come in. He was a good glove. He played with the Angels, Texas, White Sox, the Yankees, and Oakland. Played with the
Hallman there, Jimmy. White Sox.
White Sox. He's
John.
Played with the Yankees from 78 to 81. Got a ring in 78. He was 2 for 12 in that World Series. Just batted 246 in the playoffs. I mean, just like a very Sturchio-esque in the playoffs. He was a great fielder, backup. But here's something this is the kind of thing that I think is funny. In 79, which was a weird year for the Yankees, Munson died, shit year. Nolan Ryan had a no-hitter in the 8th. And Jim Spencer hit like a shot to center field. And this guy Miller dove and everything. He didn't make the catch, and they ruled it an error. And supposedly the Yankees were freaked out. But also in like the 7th inning, Munson hit like a double down the line. The guy kind of misplayed it. They ruled it like they were so desperate to give Ryan another no-hitter that like calls were like, I should have had it. DiMaggio would have had it, that kind of thing. And then, of course, I didn't know, of course, my boy, Reggie Jackson, with 1 out in the 9th, line, base hit, a clean base hit. So I didn't realize Reggie. I find that funny that Reggie broke up. What is all this crap on my screen?
That's what we call a little spam.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to get to my spam in a minute. But Reggie broke up the no-hitter, even though Jim Spencer should have. He died at 55, though. He dropped dead of a heart attack after playing in a Joe DiMaggio Hospital baseball charity event, and he was only 55. He dropped dead. And I also learned on the back of his card that his grandfather played in 1919 Major League Baseball with the Washington Senators. And the baseball card here is worth $2.50. So I was all excited when I got Jim Spencer. That was going to be something there. And he wasn't that good, and he died. So I have nothing going on. And then I look over at my screen, and I see spam here.
Spam getting involved.
From Sammy Angel getting invited from the Omni.
And now that you said her name out loud, she's going to haunt you for the rest of your life.
Really? Well, yeah. First of all, this is not a real person. This is a bot guy.
Yeah, that's what we call
some kind of probably some kind of mushroom coffee. Have you been seeing these ads for mushroom coffee?
Yeah.
First of all, I don't even like Starbucks coffee. Could you imagine me having mushroom coffee?
Hey, not for nothing, Jimmy. Mushroom coffee? I heard just via source that it's good for your gut health.
Yeah, for my gut health. Which we're gonna leave that as is.
That's
it for that one. That we'll talk about that in about 2 months, hopefully. How do I get rid of this spam? See this?
Shit, I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't have a mouse or anything like that.
Block user, right?
There you go. Block.
And blocked. And the kick us off with his no, it's blocked.
And the Matumbo getting
Jimmy Palumbo has got a hit. It's still not going away though.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
All right, we don't have to care about it. Someone else post something so I don't have to see this lady's
Troy
face.
came in here. Spam old Troy Jabbar.
All right, Troy. Troy Aikman hopped in. I'm so glad Troy's a big listener to our show. I had no idea. Anyway, all right. So who do you got? I don't even know. First of all, we've been sloppy with your assignment because you put about 34 seconds into this. So
listen,
who is your? Are we at shitty quarterbacks, tight ends?
We're the shitty quarterbacks of the Cowboys in between Romo and Aikman, or Aikman and Romo rather. Let's go with a guy that I personally thought was going to be the next Troy Aikman, just because HBO Hard Knocks, they follow these guys around, and you really feel like, oh wow, he's going to be good. His name was Drew Henson. He played third base, and then he played for the Dallas Cowboys. I think he played for the Yankees Farm Club.
Michigan, right?
Yes,
Henson?
Michigan. Drew Henson.
Oh yeah, he had the whole big, tall,
Reblay quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Don't know his stat line. Don't care about his stat line. Just know that he was a terrible NFL quarterback, which is unfortunate for the NFL. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are banged up now. I'm sure you'll get into it during your stinks list. But yeah, everybody's getting hurt. So
yeah, all right,
Drew never got hurt.
Drew Henson. I remember the Giant. I think that was in LT. It was after LT. I remember.
No. Well, no. If I'm talking about after Aikman, then LT's gone too.
Yeah, that's right. I remember. I think Strahan beat him up a few times.
Strahan, it was like, yeah.
I remember him. Yeah, that was part of depth. That's a classic shitty quarterback there. But he was supposed to be he was the second coming there. I do remember.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan, he came after Brady. So they're like, wow, look at this guy. Who's he? And then he's going to lose his job to Brady. Wow.
All right. So we got Jim Spencer, an average first baseman, and Drew Henson, a lousy Dallas Cowboy quarterback. He probably played 8 years. He was a backup for the Lions or something you forgot about. All right. Well, that brings us to Patreon. And we are just, at this point, maybe I should say Patreon. Try to get like a little the French fans here.
You could have had everybody sign up at the cast and crew.
I know.
Put your social handle here so we can promote you, and also sign up for the Patreon.
We are mired at 36 in a slump here. Rich Thomas is the last one to sign up, but that's okay. I know sometimes I'm like, my Patreon is very similar to Oscar Gamble. I just I hit him in spurts. I could sign 5 Patreons this week. I also got to get my mother to change her credit card. She still hasn't done that.
That's a hard conversation.
That's a hard conversation now. But also, I got to give a shout out to, of course, Will Pena, who's always on the chat room here. Also, my friend Dave Ben, who is always like 8 weeks behind, and he wants to listen to like the Rucker stuff, and he goes back, and he's always like, he's one of those like, I get that extra view 9 months later. He's that guy. Also went to school with him for 16 years, same educational building. But also to Tyson Hogan, my boy Tyson Hogan down there in Louisiana. He not only went from like the low level to the mid level, he just upped it again, getting involved. I guess he wanted to help out with beer league, and so he threw
Tyson Hogan, man. He's a respectable human being. He slides into my DMs a lot. Basically, every time I post a video on Instagram and I collab with my own page,
right.
He definitely he liked the whole the gym thing with me.
Right. He's a fan. Thank you so much. I talked to him a little bit. He came up to New York. We didn't get a chance to hook up. When he came up with his family, and I wanted to, it just didn't work out timing wise for me, but good man. And so I got to give him a shout out. That's how it works. And of course, when we talk about good people and I'm wearing
List, I just saw it as you go.
what was this?
As you're transferring it, there's like a long list of people. Back in the day when Jimmy used to recite the entire list.
I may go back to that. You know, the sales have been down at Patreon. But if you do want to go to Patreon, go to patreon.com, patreon.com, search for the Jimmy Palumbo Show. And then you can see how you can donate.
Look up Chop Sports Media too and donate over there too. Tyson Hogan.
Okay. Look at Tyson Hogan just got beat for $3.
I'm gonna start poaching your Patreon people.
That's it. Sturchio trying to mooch in. And you can also go to Chris Gucci's Patreon.
Dude, I don't know what it is, but every time you start ruffling those papers, it's
really loud, so it must sound like shit.
No. You sound fine. I don't know.
I don't know why that is. Like that's loud, right?
When it's on the desk, or whatever you're.
That's weird. Well, listen, the technology here at the downtown Mawa Studios is not what it should be. But hey, that's why if we had more Patreon, I would have a gorgeous setup here.
Or
but I don't.
You could truck on down to Chop Studios. We could do this in person.
Yeah, but that's an hour ride, and there's tolls. And I hate to blow like 6 Patreons on me just to get down to Chop Studios. I will come down though. One of these days.
I'm sure you will.
I will. But then you'll be like, oh, we have to move shit around. You'll be busting my ball. It'll be a big fucking pain in the ass. Who are you bullshitting? But I do want to go down there for sure. I haven't seen the place in a while. Of course, when you change your glasses, where do you go, Dave?
Oh, well, I mean, there's only one place to go. And I'm not talking about that shithole at the top of the street that all of a sudden appeared out of nowhere. I'm talking about Absolute Eyewear, which is right next to the train station.
That's right. 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey. Absolute Eyewear getting involved here. 732-326-3937. Craig and Janine Michaud. Of course, for the first time, Craig actually helped me out. Jaybird was nowhere to be found. She was like, just go to Craig. She could care less. And Craig, who usually can care less, doesn't watch the show. He was very helpful. He stayed late. I got caught in traffic. He was supposed to be out of there by 5 o'clock, but I was like mired in traffic. I was in bullshit hell getting from Bergen County to Woodbridge. He stayed late. And the best thing is I haven't really talked to Craig in a while. And I really appreciate it because we actually talked for like 45 minutes while he was making me new glasses. And then, of course, he's like, Jimmy, what are you doing? I'm going to make you these progressive, glasses. So he promised me. I promised him when I get my eyes checked in January.
What the hell is progressive? What does that mean?
I don't know. You look up, it's one way. You look down, you read. It's a whole fucking thing. And then so it makes sense to me. He was showing me.
You're so old.
So Craig was
look up, you look down.
He was telling me, you look up, you look straight. It's normal. Then he was trying to get me driving glasses so I could see the signs. Anyway. Wow. I'm 58 going on 98. I've been saying that for years. But they're full-service opticians. Go check out Craig and Johnny at Absolute Eyewear. They'll take care of you. You get $100 off if you just mention me in any way, shape, or form. Or you just say Dave Sturchio. Just mention anybody that's involved. If you mention Chris Gucci, it's $50 more.
And if you say Tyson Hogan,
if you say Tyson Hogan, you get him for free. That's how it works. Anyway, Absolute Eyewear, getting involved. Go check them out. And I'll try to be real careful with the paper now, Dave.
My ears are sensitive.
I got sensitive ears over there.
Man, hold on. Troy, don't worry, man. I got you covered, dude. We're right here. The jug is in the building. So
look at that. Look, Troy getting involved here.
I'm gonna start putting advertisements.
Let me tell you. First of all, I got a regular coffee mug right here. You can see me and my dad, which is opening day at Yankee Stadium preseason against the Cubs, the first game we were there, unofficial game. People don't realize that, 2009, whatever the hell that was. So I'll take a sip here.
That's good.
And then I also have a man's water bottle here at Shea.
Oh, like a normal person.
Yeah, normal person. All right, now, on a serious note, and I don't know if you're going to, on a serious note, I got a lot of texts this weekend. Of course, Matthew Perry from Friends passed away, which is really a horrible thing. But, I don't know if you agree with this. Like, people were like, oh, you got to say something on your Facebook. You were on Friends. You got to say something. You got to say something. And I started to read some people that were posting that were like actors and stuff. And all of a sudden I had to say, like, I don't mind if a person was a fan of the show and they just said, oh my God, RIP. Mm-hmm. But I was getting all these texts like, you got to go on and say something. And all of a sudden I was like, you know what? No. it's a sad story. Very Artie Lang-esque. Here's a guy who had everything, and he got caught up in drugs and alcohol, ruined his life. He tried. He wasn't, everything I've read, it seemed like he was in and out of rehabs. He was giving it a go. He just didn't. Some guys just don't give a fuck and they die. He was not that kind of way. And I just didn't feel like doing one of those posts like, oh, I worked with him. I figured out, at least on this show.
Well, I mean, just out of curiosity, I mean, you obviously did work with him on a show. How was he as a person working with him?
I met him twice. I met him. First time I met him was when I first got to LA. Must have been with Artie, was doing Mad TV. It was like 95, 96. And I didn't know shit about LA. And Artie, neither did Artie. But Artie was on the show, and Artie was following the lead of Orlando Jones and some other people from the show. We ended up at this, I can't think of the name of the bar. It was on 3rd Street, I think, by West Hollywood. Really cool place. A bar I always liked. And literally, we went there like 3 weekends in a row or 3 Thursday nights in a row. And first time we were there, the entire cast of Friends was there. Oh, cool. So they must have been, I don't know. It was early in the, I don't know. I might be screwing up the years, but around 95-ish, 94, maybe something like that. Whatever the hell it was. And they were all there, but like it was so crowded, you couldn't get near them, and they weren't there for long. And he was the one that was closest to me. And I just saw him up front. I just said hi. He said hi back, and that was it. No interaction. And actually, the following weekend is where I saw George Clooney in that same bar. And that was really cool because photographers were trying to get pictures of him. That was before the iPhone. They had those little shitty cameras, those box cameras, like when you're a tourist. Mm-hmm. And he was just trying to have a pizza and beer with his friends. And he was trying to you could just see, he just wanted to hang out. Finally, some guy literally took the camera and tried to go around his face to get a picture of him. And that's when one of his buddies stood up and said, "Hey, man."
Yoked him up, man.
One of his buddies stood up and said, "Hey, man, we're just having a private," even though they were in a public restaurant. He was like, the guy was just like, "We're just trying to have dinner here, man. Right. It's not the time. You want to get him outside when he leaves on the street? Fine." And like, I remember, I didn't say anything. I remember going like, God, fucking guy just wants to have a couple of beers with his friends. How annoying that must be.
I get the same kind of treatment every time I go to a bar.
Every time we go to like,
hey Dave, I'm like, come on, man. I'm with my kids.
When I stroll into Strawberries, there's no room for my limo. Or when I used to go to Riffy's, I had a driver, would have to wait outside.
Strawberries, man.
The next time I saw him was on the set, but I didn't really have any interaction with him. He was very relaxed. I told everybody, the whole cast was so relaxed. I mean, and my argument was, well, if you're making $1.2 million for about 12 hours of work in a week, what at work's really going to bother you? In other words, like Dave, if you were making $1.2 million at Chop Sports a week, only 12 hours.
Give or take, it's around the what I'm making.
Would you get annoyed that, Chris is 5 minutes late again? Or Jimmy's starting his podcast at 1:05, not one, like.
Jimmy can do his own fucking podcast.
Yeah, that's what it is. So they were very relaxed, but I didn't really have any interaction with them other than like, at the end when we did the bow and stuff. I just felt really bad. It's a sad story. Friends is an iconic show. One of probably top 5 sitcoms of all time when you add it all up over the years. I think 50 years from now, people are going to be watching that show. 100 years, very much like Honeymooners. And, I really think All in the Family, Honeymooners, I Love Lucy. I
didn't find any of those shows entertaining. The Honeymooners, I Love Lucy, none of it. Every time I tried, I watch it and I'm like, this is kind of like, I don't know. Maybe I was young. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Listen, The Honeymooners is by far the best sitcom of all time. But for me, and The Odd Couple too. But no, listen, Friends, I get it. That's a whole. We'll have. You know what? Next week we're going to discuss sitcoms. Wow. It's a terrible story. Sounds to me like he just died in his hot tub. I did have a shitty. I was not kidding around, but texting with my buddies. One of the last things he did was play pickleball. And then he got into a hot tub, and I'm saying to myself, my God, I can't even play pickleball without dropping dead. But anyway, R.I.P. to Matthew Perry. It's just a sad, sad thing. just I don't know. Gotta watch that drugs and alcohol. I don't know. Anyway, I have nothing to say on it. It's a shitty story, terrible tragedy. Too young, way too young. And also, I didn't realize his mother's husband is the guy from Dateline NBC. That guy who does all those when they when they catch a rapist and all that stuff. And
riveting. Catch a predator and stuff.
Whatever those kind of shows. He's on that.
Wait, it's not Hanson, is it?
No, it's not Hanson. It's the other guy. He does those like 60 minutes kind of. If you saw his face,
obviously the premise of the show is awful if you think about it. Like obviously, right. But man, those shows are great.
Oh, it's great. It's addicting. I agree.
The guy's like, he's just like, hey, what are you doing here? And he's like, well, according to this transcript, you're blanking. It's like,
it's abusive. Oh, but that's who his stepfather is, and just a mess. And anyway, RIP to that. The other thing is, we have a lot to talk about in the show, obviously, but I watched last night, and you, Dave, you have an assignment. Did you watch the Yogi Berra documentary on Netflix yet?
No. Is it new?
Yep, just came out. It was in the theaters. They put it in the theaters.
Oh wow!
It's produced by his granddaughter, Lindsay Berra. Dude, top 5 documentaries of all time. And
really?
the reason why I enjoyed it is that my father used to say for years, and my uncle too, who caught semi-pro. My father used to say, hey, you kids don't know how good Berra was. You have no idea how good Berra was. It would almost be like if a player like, I don't know, I'm trying to name a great player in the NFL, became this caricature. Yogi Berra, the Yogiisms, the cute little Italian guy, the commercials. And as time went by, there was, Johnny Bench. And the whole reason why the granddaughter did this documentary, because Yogi and his wife Carmen are both gone now, was because she was, before he died, like literally 2 months before he died, he was watching the All-Star game, and they had on the field the 4 living legends of baseball, and it was like Mays and I forget the 4 guys, Mays and all those legendary guys, and she was like, "Dad, why aren't you there?" And he was like, "I don't know. They didn't ask." And so she started doing research. And she just abuses the fact. I mean, this guy, he was so good. And everybody just think, oh, he played for the Yankees, won a lot. Not true. 3-time MVP. Came in second place 4 times. Came in like third place 3 times. This guy won 10 World Series. Clutch hitter with men on base. He was a shitty catcher his first year. And then after that, he became the best catcher. He was unbelievably competitive. Just an awesome player. And then when he retired, he became a manager and a coach. And wherever he went, they won. I mean, crazy. Like he ended up on the Mets.
Yeah.
And the Mets in 69 won the World Series. Berra was coaching third. He came to the Yankees in 76. They went to the World Series 3 times in a row. Berra was coaching on the team. Then when the Yankees fucked him over in 84 and he said he'd never go back, he ended up on the Houston Astros, and they were in that whole thing with the Mets 86 series and all. It's like this guy, you know what? You hire Yogi, your team. I swear to God, I was Rucker. We should be called the
all documented in the documentary.
All over it. And they really have, and his wife and the love affair with his wife, they were married for 60 years. And also Dale Berra, Tim Berra, Larry Berra, the oldest son, all the kids are on. And Dale Berra talks about the cocaine in the 80s with the Pirates and all the and they lead it up to the Susan Wallman bringing Yogi back, which you probably remember that.
I was there for an Old Timers Day. He was there. He was on the cart and shit.
Yeah, I was at that one too.
Yeah,
him and Whitey. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Him and Whitey. This documentary is like, it's just a love affair for baseball. I think even like I'd be willing to bet, like if you watch this one with your wife, who I don't know if she's a sports fan or not, but because it's Yogi, like
through me.
No, but she, like, even your wife's gonna know Yogi Berra.
Yeah, no.
And it ain't over till it's over. And they go through all these things. It is just and she's gonna love all the stuff with his wife and stuff. It's really cool, and the kids, and what he said to the wife on her deathbed, and all. It's just an amazing story. And the Montclair Museum, which have you ever been to that in Montclair?
No.
Dude, you got to get over there, man. It's like Yankee heaven in Montclair. if you're stop in for a half hour if you can. You'll be like, oh my God, how the hell is all this shit? Like, this is awesome. Yogi pretty much lived in Montclair, donated all his shit to Montclair, and they built a museum. But it's like a mini Hall of Fame for you got to do that, a bucket list. I just thoroughly enjoyed this. I don't know. I was almost going to like cry a little bit because I just thought of my dad. My dad would have loved this, because she used to say, and the granddaughter gets on, and she's funny because she's like, I try to imagine, like, she's like the granddaughter, and she's pissed. She's like, no, he goes, everybody, I know he was a cute little old man, and he looked funny, and they did the Yogi Bear series, which he hated. But, like, my dad was one of the best players who made. You walk away going, like, he was totally better than Johnny Bench. Totally better.
Out, right?
Was that?
This just came out?
I think it, well, you know what? Yes, it's within a week.
Only because maybe there's a shot in the dark that we try to reach out to the granddaughter and get her on the show.
You know what? I'm actually totally going to try to do that for a couple of reasons. Because Dale Berra is actually a huge Scarlett McKnight fan.
There you go.
I don't know. Maybe one of his kids went there. We have no idea. I don't know what that story is either. I have to find that out. I would love to find, and then I'll also talk to them about how me and Artie Lang ran into Phil Rizzuto at a Dunkin' Donuts back in like '93. Artie Lang and Jimmy, we needed, both of us needed to talk it over. We had a couple of us, and then there comes walking Phil. It was a quiet Dunkin' Donuts. I know I'm getting off topic here, but who cares? My show. And next thing you know, I'm like, Phil, I can't think of another person to be with other than Artie Lang and have Phil Rizzuto walk in just to get a cup of coffee. And Artie was like, Phil, but we had a buzz on it. We were probably being obnoxious, but he's like, hey, you two guys, I look like you had a good night. Like it was just a great time. But yes, I'm going to try to reach out to her, see if I can get her on the show. Really cool. So I highly recommend that. I think it's called It Ain't Over. That's what it's called. And all the Jeters on it. You got to hear what Jeter has to say.
Oh, really?
Mariano, Jeter, Joe Torre.
Oh, shit.
A couple of old Yankees like Tony Kubek and those guys from the 50s are still alive. 4 guys who were interviewed a lot for the show are gone. Like Vin Scully.
Did he pass away yet?
Yeah, Vin Scully's gone. And they pay tribute to that as well. So a lot of it, literally between the time they interviewed and when the documentary came out, a bunch of guys passed away. And they acknowledge that. But it's you could hear nobody like, especially the players that played with them. They were like you understand. Like I know there was Mantle and Joe D and all these great hitters. He's like Berra was the guy. Very interesting. I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Definitely.
Which leads us to the semi-pro NFL game I watched on Sunday. Now, I'm glad our show is like 2 days later because the whole world's been covering this game. I had some people over. My buddy Dave came over with some friends, and I was the only one really focused on the game. Everybody else was like having fun and eating and drinking and stuff. But I was like, I kept on saying, wow, this is an historic game here. And they were like, what do you mean they both suck? I'm like, no, you understand. I understand suck. I watch Rutgers. This is historic because the Jets are actually worse than the Giants. And yet this game was the amount of punts.
15 in the first half.
Mind-boggling.
15 punts in the first half.
The lack of skill level at the quarterback position. If anybody is a fan of Wilson, I'm sorry. He just stinks. And then the guy on the shitty backup on the Giants gets hurt. In comes, I'm going to call him Danny DeVito, because he played at Bosco here. And he played at six. Okay, and this is my major bitch about the Giants on Sunday. I get it. You're down to your third string. Most NFL teams, you're down to your third string. You're in big trouble. Cowboys, the Eagles. If you have your third string, the Cowboys are going to do lousy with their third string quarterback, right? But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, though. If it happened all in one game, Jones goes down in the first quarter, Tyrod goes down in the second quarter. Now you're stuck. The guy who hasn't had a rep in the month. This fella, Danny DeVito, has been the backup quarterback for the Giants for 4 weeks. He was with them all preseason, and he played quarterback at Syracuse, okay? The kid gets in the game, and all of a sudden, he's not allowed to throw a forward pass to do anything. And then that goes on, and you're relying on Barkley, and this is why I think the Jets stink. The Giants were getting first downs when the Jets knew they put 12 in the box, and the Giants were still getting first downs. And I was like, oh, dear God, does this team, both of them stink. And through all that, the Giants put themselves in position to actually win the game, they just should have won the game naturally. Now, the decision to go for the field goal or first down on a run, that's a wash to me. The bottom line is what really cost the Giants a game was when the first 29-yard pass by Wilson, Thibodeau jumped off sides. So the clock couldn't run down. They never would have had enough time to do anything. Maybe a Hail Mary or something like that.
Agreed.
So the game would have ended there. That being said, the tragedy of it is, and I know you're a big Micah Parsons fan, and I am not a Thibodeau fan. Let me tell you something. This guy, he was all over the field. He was causing fumbles. He's been getting sacks. He's having he's having an awesome year, much better than I thought he was. I know Carl Banks defended him this week, and I was like, Carl, calm down. I watched the game. This guy, number 5, was all over the field. And so he had the game of his life, but then he jumps off sides with 24 seconds to go, blows the game.
All about everything he did there.
Exactly right. And then the Giants have a kicker who was arguably top 3 kickers in the NFL the last couple of years. Now he's got a leg injury. He missed kicks last week. He missed kicks. And now
that's incompetence at a table.
Absolutely. You
got to just go for it. And
you got to go, because even if you don't get it, they got the ball on the 20-yard line.
You actually gave him 7 yards because of
exactly right. But I get it. You go up by 6 is game changer. So you got that. And then, which I just heard they released him, but they're going to re-sign him. All of a sudden, if you go to a supermarket and look at a guy stacking the shelves, that's who was punt returning for the Giants on Sunday. And here's the best part. He was the best punt returner on the Giants, I think, since Dave Meggett.
Little Meggett run.
Of course, Meggett, I'm talking about on the field. Meggett, of course, is in jail for being a complete asshole. He's doing 50 years somewhere, but he's in Rawway. But the bottom line is,
wait, he's in Rawway?
No, he's in one of those he's in one of those where oh no, you're not getting out.
You wanted to see the light of day? That's
no.
That's not happening.
He's Dave Meggett is a bad egg. Google that. I'm going to talk about it.
I don't really recall what he did.
Okay, well then Google it. You'll see. Okay. But there's this guy. He looks like some just big white guy moving boxes around at Walmart. Next thing you know, he didn't fair catch once, and then he's like diving for an extra 9 yards. I'm like, and I read this morning they cut him, but they somehow, and he went to some school that even my cousin John Blingley or like a college, I don't even know. And I'm like, how is the Giants' best punt returner in 25 years like an unknown entity by just being a big fat white guy catching the ball and running forward? He'll probably get his bell rung next time the Giants play.
Okay.
And then of course
he's doing 30 years, and now I know why.
Yeah. Okay.
You
know what? I didn't want to. Meggett. I mentioned Meggett because he was a great player for the Giants.
Yeah, he was.
As a player, it's OJ stuff. OJ was the best running back in the league for 10 years, but he had a rough night. Rough night. Gotta get involved. Yeah. No. Anyway, so then all of a sudden it comes down. Blah blah blah. The guy misses the kick. It comes down. How about the center putting his own ball down?
Well. Listen, there's a rule that the NFL has implemented on the Cowboys a couple years back. I remember when Dak Prescott, they ran a ridiculous quarterback sneak. They had to get to the thing, right? They set up to snap it. The referee jumps in the middle of it because the referee has to set the ball himself.
Correct.
And all of a sudden, we're just going to forget all about that shit and let him like it. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
I was like, I was in fucking tears 2 years ago because they wouldn't snap the fucking ball. And now all of a sudden,
so again, it just added. Listen, if the Giants were 6-2 and the Jets were 6-2, we would be like, oh my God. But because you got to remember, and Giant fans are going to agree with me on this. Even in the middle of the start of the fourth quarter, I was like, wait a minute, we're up 10-7, but wait a minute. We don't have a quarterback for the rest of the year. In other words, where is this going? Even if we win with 3-5, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, we don't have anybody to play the position. It's over. And then, of course, Dable, The storyline, kind of guy you want to have a beer with. Well, guess what? The guy I drink with would have deferred the kickoff and gave the ball to the Jets because the Jets couldn't move. They got 3 yards in the second half. So you make the Jets get the ball first because the only way to win is by a short punt, or maybe and they say, we'll take the ball. How stupid can you possibly be? Why in a million years would you take the ball in overtime? Normally, if you have a regular quarterback and you're a regular NFL team, and then I started to do some math. So Giants are 2-6 now, right?
Yeah, it's over.
So I need help with you on this.
Uh-huh.
So they're 2-6.
Uh-huh.
But last year, they started the season 6-1.
Yeah.
And I believe they finished 9-8.
They actually had a tie, 9-7-1.
Okay, so let's do the math. They're 6-1, so they went 3-6-1 last year, right? I'm gonna get.
You're right.
3-6-1, and now 2-6. So
5-11-1 in his last 17 games.
Correct. So, hey,
it's quick math, by the way.
Yeah, you're good at that.
It's my fun.
I like
fucking Troy. Over.
It's over, right? There you go. Of course, that's a scene in beer league at the bar. Good callback right there. So the Giants stink, but the Jets stink worse.
I don't know if I can agree with you there.
My God. God.
I'm well aware that Zach Wilson is just his decision making is atrocious. But he holds onto the ball. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, right? It's a smorgasbord.
Dude,
the guy has intangibles to be good. It's just not. It's not working.
You want to hear something sad?
They're 4.
No. Time out. DeVito, when he did throw, had time. The Jets stink. The Jets stink. They're not a good team.
And by the way, did you see the pregame of Aaron Rodgers bouncing around throwing the ball? By the way,
no, because I would say, why can't he play now?
I don't know what he's doing.
He's definitely doing some kind of
God. The guy is going to return by Christmas. I'm telling you right now. Mark it down. It's now going to be November 1st tomorrow. Give it another 2 months. Aaron Rodgers will be back on the field for the Jets. And if the Jets are in contention,
the only thing I'll say, the Jets will not be in contention because they stink. And also, Aaron Rodgers is very friendly with A-Rod and David Ortiz. So whatever they're pumping in his body, and he's like, who's that fat fuck on the Mets, the pitcher?
Myth. You know why it's a myth? Because I got some injuries and I'm pumping myself as much as I possibly can. I'm hurt.
Who's that fat bastard on the Mets used to pitch that we loved, hit home runs?
Bartolo Colon?
Yeah. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to Mexico City and they're getting stuff pumped in. Blood plasma changes. Anyway, bottom line is, God, the Jets stink. The Giants stink. And the only positive is this guy Thibodeau's having he's got like seven or 8 sacks.
And it's so over that they traded away Leonard Williams for a second pick to Seattle.
That's good. Anytime you get picks on a bad team. So anyway, the Giants is going 6-1 or 5-11-1. They stink. And to me, when you stink, you get heavier and heavier. And Dable looked like he was 400 pounds at the end of the game.
Having a rough go at it.
Which brings us to the Scarlet McKnights. Now, I'm wearing the Rutgers stuff today, only because we're 6-2, and we had a week off, and the weather's supposed to be 60 degrees, partly cloudy. A
beautiful,
perfect day here at Shai Stadium, where tonight Rutgers will take on the number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, people have been asking me, because they consider me the Rutgers guy. They're like, well, how do you think they're going to do? And I say, well, I don't look at it that way. I go by this. I go by real time. So the game starts at noon. I'll be there early, say 9:30. Have a couple of cocktails with me. My brother a tailgate, a little Taylor ham, egg, and cheese sandwiches going on the grill. So between 9 and 12, Rutgers is going to dominate. Okay. Then at noon, the game starts. And all I'm looking for is for about 45 minutes of real time of fun. So I am going to ask my audience, at around 12:45, feel free to text me or contact me on Facebook, and I'll check whether or not I'm still having fun. Now, if it's only 7-0, 7-3, 10-3, 10-7, maybe Rutgers, then I'm enjoying myself.
I got a great idea for you. If things go south, Piscataway is right next to my town. It's Miles' second birthday party. Come on down.
Uh,
Miles for his birthday.
you know what?
And we'll watch the rest of the Rutgers game at my house.
Do not count me out for that. I do have to go to a family event after, but you know what? Um, I may show up. You just may get a text there. Because first of all, I never met Miles, and he needs to meet me. Only thing is, I'll be able to buy some Jet stuff for his birthday. So I'll be able to show. Everybody knows that Dave's kid's a Jet fan. Dave's in denial.
That shit.
He's in denial. His wife texts me every other day going, Jimmy, I love the Jet stuff. I love the Jet stuff. Because Dave's wife's family are Jet fans. But yes, so I'm looking for enjoyment between 45 minutes and an hour after noon to kick off. Now, I'm going to say this. This is probably a rare Jimmy being positive day here at Shea.
You feeling all right?
No, maybe I don't know. Maybe I have COVID. Who knows? So the Rutgers Scarlet McKnights are 6-2. They have 4 games left, and they play 3 monsters: Ohio State, at Penn State, at Iowa, and then they finish with Maryland. And Maryland's not a monster, but they're better than us. I'm going to make the prediction. We could go 6-6, but I'm going to make the prediction that we are going to be a pain in the ass all 4 games. I don't think anybody's going to blow us out. I think we're going to be that just pain in the ass team that doesn't go away. Now, they may get a backdoor cover and stuff like that. I just think we're going to be a pain in the ass. I have no doubt about it. I think we're going to get 4 play wells, but we may lose. Again, I see some predictions here. 31-10. It depends. If it's 24-10 in the third quarter, I'm thoroughly enjoying myself I think they're going to be a thorn for the rest of the season. But they could lose all 4.
You know, I know this is going to sound absolutely ridiculous, but I think they got a shot. I don't know why.
Why? But why are you saying that? We never have a shot against Ohio State.
For whatever reason, and maybe Ohio State's walking into this like, oh, fuck, it's Rutgers. Like, who gives a shit? Like, Wimsatt will have a couple breakout runs and this, that, and the third. He can't throw the fucking ball, so who cares? If you keep it close, if you're down 7 or 10 at half, like, it's Schiano after all. And if you watch the Michigan State game where they came all the way back, it's just like, okay, you know what? These guys are playing for them. So, like, why not Rutgers to fucking upset the number 2? We've seen it. Don't tell me we didn't see it, because I partied like it was fucking 1999 when they beat Louisville that year. We've seen Rutgers do some crazy fucking things.
I mean, that was a long time ago.
Early drinking.
It was years ago. But I can't say. I think that's like fantasy a little bit. I just need an hour of fun. That's all I'm looking for. Because I can look back at the 2 losses. I don't think we played that bad against Michigan, and I don't think we played that bad. We had some catastrophic pick sixes.
You could beat Maryland. So
we could beat Maryland. The Penn State game and the Ohio State games are tall orders. But the sad part is the way it is in the Big Ten. Even if we were to go 2-2, right? Say we beat Maryland and Iowa.
You finish
the bowl game, to the guy sitting on the couch in Middlesex County, the bowl game differential between the Pinstripe Bowl and the bowl we'll go to at 8-4 is like weed whacker, like we're going to Nashville, and everything. They're all during the Christmas holidays. Summer before.
It's on the Ocho. It's on some channel you don't have anymore.
A lot of MSG network coverage there. So, and my cousin John can't watch it because he doesn't have MSG. But
I found a workaround, by the way. I found a workaround to all that, because it's just like, all you got to do is find somebody with MSG, download the app, the MSG app, right? And then like tell them that this is my account for Optimum cable or DirecTV cable or whatever. And then you could just screen it off your phone. So it's like and that's how I'm watching the Knicks and the Rangers this year. A good Samaritan in Chop Sports, Nick Shine, big Jets fan, so he was beaming. He's the one who hooked me up with his login and password, and now I'm watching.
And wait a minute, Nick Shine is a Jets fan?
He is a big Jets fan.
The Jets around your family is just hovering. You can't escape it.
Like,
because when your kid's older, Dad, so great watching the Knicks. Who gave us this? Just an old Jet fan buddy of mine. Then he must be all right. I know, I heard that, but you know what? My poor cousin's sitting on the couch. I believe this whole cutting the cord thing, Oh, you just watch everything. I would listen. I'm 58 years old. I want to sit down with one remote. I want to rule the world. I don't want to go back. This phone source, go back to the app. What a fucking pain in the ass.
I had internet issues during the Cowboys game this past Sunday, but it turned out to be an NFL ticket thing. It wasn't like
bullshit.
I'm screaming at my.
Of course, you should have been.
My sister and my brother-in-law. I'm like, you guys, the internet's reset the modem, do something. I was like sweating profusely because I'm missing the first like 3 plays of the Cowboys game.
Well,
goddamn mind.
Because you're doing things through the interweb. All right, this show's going long, but it's okay. I hope you're enjoying it here, Jay. Which brings us to Corn. What was that?
My boy Anthony Petito's watching the show. He's a friend of mine. He said you were.
Oh yeah, I know him too. I met him at the airport when he was coming back from Afghanistan. He was all in shape. You must be a fat bastard now, Anthony. Yes or no, Anthony? If you're a fat bastard, text.
I remember.
Put a post in right now that says, "Yes, Jimmy, it's nice meeting you, and I am a fat bastard." He was all like cut up and everything.
Oh, of course.
I remember. I was actually excited about that. It's the first time I met somebody from Woodbridge. I was a substitute teacher, and he was coming back, and he couldn't wait to see his family. It was cool shit. I remember you very well, buddy. Which brings us to cornholelevel.com. That's right. Listen, I know Troy and Anthony and all you Giant fans out there, your cornhole is just uneven this week. And so what you got to do is
the papers. You're ruffling the papers. I'm going to lose my goddamn.
All right, I'm ruffling papers here at Shay.
Yeah, ruffle away.
But here we go. It probably sounds like shit on the air too.
Good. Oh yeah, for everybody at home.
This is what all Giant and Jet fans need to do: is straighten out your cornhole after that game. This board right here, and I'm sure after the Rutgers game on Saturday, I may need to straighten out my cornhole. But you put it right on the board there. You move it around. This is Dave, and even if you're like Dave, you're drinking that jug, which the fans have come to appreciate once the show.
Jug day.
Go to cornholelevel.com. It'll level out your cornhole board. It's a perfect gag gift. It's a perfect gift because the thing works. Get your cornhole exactly what the Society of American Cornhole Players says the board should be: up, down, around, all that stuff. So go check that out. And of course, they are the sponsor of, which is now infamous in the world of sports, the Jimmy Palumbo NFL Stinks List. And this is classic. Okay. Now, Miami Dolphins. I was going to maybe put them in very good until I realized that Dave's not paying attention. And he looks like you got breaking news. The Giants trade somebody.
Well, the trade deadline is in 2 hours, but no, it was somebody was spamming me too. So everybody's getting spammed here today.
It's spam day here at the stadium.
You ever get one of those messages where it's like, I can't believe you died in a car crash? And I'm like,
I hate that shit.
Yeah, I'm like, what? And then before I click it like a moron, but
yeah.
Then now you have my social security number. Congratulations.
All right. Well, as Dave interrupts my stinks list here at Shay,
my story was better.
I tell you, when the Cowboys win, Dave's just full of that. Your kids are totally going to be like, "Ma, the Cowboys win. Ma, the Cowboys win," and she's going to go, "No, they didn't, but the Jets won, honey. So just go do your homework. Dad will be home in a minute." NFL stinks list, week 8. I was going to give the Miami Dolphins maybe a very good, but it was 24-17 with 8 minutes to go. Miami Dolphins are only getting a good for me. Bills are going to get an average. Jets stink. Patriots stink. Baltimore Ravens have entered the very good status. It's tenuous, but they are there. Steelers stink. The Browns are average. Cincinnati Bengals are up to good. Again, them and the Ravens are teetering. We'll see how that goes. The Jaguars, good. Texans stink. The Tennessee Titans, I'm putting as average. Why? Because that's what I had them last week. Indianapolis Colts stink. The Kansas City Chiefs lost to Denver. Sorry, can't get a VG when you lose to Denver. They are at good. The Chargers and Raiders stink. The game last night. Oh, God.
I don't know why I put myself through this shit.
And
watch every fucking football game. Every game. I don't miss.
I know.
I have a weird.
That was a bad. It was just a bad. I mean, the Lions are good. Matter of fact, Lions are. I'll get to the Lions in a second. That was a stupid game. But I gave the Broncos an average because they beat the Chiefs. And now Taylor Swift wasn't there and they lost. This is so the end for the Chiefs. I know it. I swear to God, can I bet the rest of the field against the Chiefs in Vegas? Can I do that?
Yeah,
There's got to be a bet somewhere.
Just bet against them every week.
No, not every week. The Super Bowl.
Oh, I mean, the bet. I mean,
is there a bet that says the Chiefs will not win the Super Bowl? That's the bet I want to make. They're not going to make it. Not going to win. Not going to win. Philadelphia Eagles, very good. Dallas Cowboys, hovering at good, staying right there, getting close to maybe the very good again.
no, they got Philly this week.
Washington Commanders stink. Giants, of course. Oh, good God, they stink so bad. Detroit Lions get the very good from Jimmy Palumbo. Vikings, average. Unfortunately, the Vikings just called me. They want to see if I can throw the ball around on Sunday. They're in trouble there. Packers and Bears stink. Falcons, average. Saints, average. Look at that. Tyson Hogan upgrades me on the Patreon, and now I give it the Saints an average.
The Saints guy? I thought that was the other guy. That was Clark.
No, is that Tyson? No, Tyson was just. Wait a minute now. I'm getting confused now. Tyson.
Darryl Clark is.
Oh, Darryl Clark is the.
See, I don't know your fucking people more than you know your people.
I know that's because they get involved on your sites as well. The Jimmy Palumbo Show continues to dominate. Me and Joe Rogan neck and neck. Falcons average, Saints average, Buccaneers stink, Carolina Panthers stink, Seahawks good. Something about the Seahawks I like. 49ers are average. Don't care what anybody's. Enough with putting the 49ers at this like
they lost
elite. They suck.
Wow, that's actually a suck, not a stink.
Yeah, they suck. I mean, from here on in, the Giants are going to get a suck.
I'm a karma guy. So George Kittle, he raised his shirt to show everybody that he was wearing a "Fuck Dallas" T-shirt after they beat him up.
They haven't won a game since. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with that.
Welcome.
I got the Rams and Cardinals as stink. The Rams. I know the Cowboys blew them out. The Rams stink, bro. So we got 15 stinks, 8 averages, 6 goods, and 3 very goods. That is the Jimmy Palumbo stinks list here from the Omni in downtown Mawa. What else do we got here? A couple things. I went to a kick-ass party Saturday. Went to visit my great Greg Castellino in Maniloking. He did some videos for me for Beer League. You met him. Oh, no, you were gone by. He showed up right after you left. Took some black and white photos, which I got to download to you. I don't think I did that right. Did you get all them yet?
No.
I got to figure out how to do that. And I got to tell you something. I went over to his house. His house overlooks the bay in Maniloking, New Jersey. It was a beautiful 70-degree night. He's got 2 kids that are like models. Greg's a good-looking horse. There was beautiful, classy women all over this party. There was people I knew from high school. Fran Amiano was getting involved over there. My friend Debbie Ryan, who's an absolute doll. She was hot in high school. She's hot now. Her sisters are hot. The whole family. They should just breed people. That's what they do. There were people showing up. They would just, you know what? I looked like Charles Durning or or a young James Coco. I was by far the most unattractive male there. I look like Johnny Newman now. It was a great time. Greg, thanks for inviting everybody. You got to have another party at this cool house.
I'm coming.
I'm definitely going to invite you next time for sure. You'll be shooting some video. I also yesterday, breaking news here from the Omni. Went on my first live audition in a long time. Commercial audition for those insurance, Colonial Penn Insurance. You ever see those things?
Sure.
And Don Case, he's been casting before I got in showbiz, so that's how you know. He probably casted radio. That's how long he's been in the business. And it was great to see people in the lobby. And hey, I had a couple of old timers. Hey, Jimmy, what's going on? What are you doing? I was doing jokes like, I thought you were dead. The guy was only like 55, but we still laughed over that. And Don Case was telling us it's so good to have people in his office again. And he's going to try to do this. And then I went in and I did a solid job in the audition. And about an hour before the telecast, I have a callback for Colonial Penn Life Insurance Day here at Shea. So I think my callback's in a couple of days at the end of the week. So that would be great if I could book a commercial. But it's good to be back auditioning live in New York City. Now, it was a pain in the ass. I had to get on the train and do all that, but I let him. I had my coffee, the newspaper. I relaxed. I became 78 years old on a train. And then I realized, I don't know, when's the last time you saw Madison Square Garden?
Last year.
Okay, well, it's a whole different thing there now, like the whole garden thing. there's buildings that are going over the garden. There's all kinds of.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's smothered now. Yeah.
there's a brand new construction. It is, you can't get out. It's unbelievable. We're talking about just building the shitty strip of stores across the street on 7th Avenue. That's gone. It was awesome. Which brings us to loud paper, I know. ChasingMiracles.com. Listen, all kinds of shit your body needs. These X39 and X49 patches. My mother and her friend are on them. I use them. Looks like my ex-wife's going to be using them. She hurt her knee. Everybody's doing these stem cell patches. It's completely getting involved. Listen, everybody who takes them says they feel better. I don't understand. I don't know why, how. There's all kinds of videos you can watch. It says all the athletes use them. I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers,
they work.
Aaron Rodgers put them on the back.
Aaron Rodgers is probably using them. It's ChasingMiracles.com. Get in touch with Tommy and Donna. They'll tell you what you got to do. They ship the stuff right to your house. It's really, you can pee in a cup and still be fine. There's no chemicals. It works with the natural light from your body, and it gets whatever that is. I don't know how it works. Bottom line, my heel hasn't hurt, and I'm ready to run a 5K now and shatter the 31-minute mark, even though fans are booing me, saying I can't do it, and that kind of thing. So check it out, ChasingMiracles.com. Go to their website, give Tommy and Donna a call. They will set you up. The last thing I want to discuss here is at Shea. Hang on, one other thing. Oh, I forgot a couple things. Don't forget, everyone, and Dave, I helped him out to do it. The posts we got, I told Dave that I realized that some of my friends are watching Beer League the series and they're not subscribing. So Dave put together a post for those that are not in the know.
I held your hand and I showed you how to do it.
Go to Gmail, sign in, go to YouTube, and we got a bunch of people. We got about 300 more to go, something like that. We really got to get over 1,000. So if you're listening to this show, you have to go to either you go to YouTube and then type in Beer League the series. When you sign in, you can log in with your Gmail. You don't pay for anything. It's not YouTube Premium. It's just sign in with your Gmail, which jerks like me didn't know. Then you got to click the button subscribe. Once we get over 1,000, then we can start making a few dollars there and grow it from there, especially with these new killer episodes coming out. So please do that. I did stand up Friday in Metuchen.
Listen, Jimmy, and I don't want to downplay your stand-up career. Okay, I don't, because I think you're a very funny guy, and I think I've seen you at the APAC, right? The nicer venues. I saw a still shot of you doing this comedy. Like, okay, bro, you know, it's on the brink of being over.
Okay, time out. That's not true. I understand what you're saying. But the visual, the eye candy. Okay, the eye candy. I feel like we're playing at Shad Park. Okay, oh my God. 3 people just drove off the road. What I just said there. I was in Metuchen at the American Legion Hall.
No call, by the way. No call. It's not like I'm 2 towns over or anything like that. But go ahead.
You're not 2 towns over. You're about a half. You would have came anyway. Who you bullshitting?
I mean, I saw the still shot. I'm like, wow, man, I'm glad I didn't go.
Great bunch of people. They're an American Legion. They're also a motorcycle club that works with. They do a lot of charity work. They do a lot of stuff for the town, a lot of stuff for people. And these are the gigs that comedians do. You make more money doing these gigs than you do doing like, oh, Gotham. Hey, look at me, I'm at Gotham. Yeah, $20. Go fuck yourself. We had Anthony DiDomenico and Ryan Marr on the show. I headlined. I had it was cool because Mr. Kuchek, vice principal at Colonia, and Woodbridge, principal at Woodbridge, was there with his son.
When was he principal? Who is this? Kuchek?
Yeah, Kuchek. Remember him? I don't know where but you're a child. You don't know.
03.
Yeah, he might have been at Colonia when you were there. He was there, and so it was a good time. Big shout out to Anthony Rico, who hired me. The guys couldn't have been nicer, but here's the best part. At the end of the night, I'm saying goodbye, and they had all this extra food in trays, and the food was actually good. I don't know where they got it from. So one guy was like, I could tell he just wanted to throw it. The guy, you know, when there's a cleanup, some guy just wants to go home. He just want to throw everything out. I saw like huge trays of like meatballs and chicken franchise, and the guy's like, do you want any of this? And I'm like, well, you throwing it out. He's like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, yeah. Next thing you know, the guy goes, hang on, I'll help you out. Next thing you know, these tin trays are coming out. I drove home with my car. I have food. I can have a separate party tonight.
The car was leaning to the right.
Leaning to the right. I got all kinds of meatballs, chicken franchise. I got veal parm, I got chicken parm. I completely stacked trays. So not only did I make a few bucks, I had a really good set. I also walked out with food. So that to me that's a trifecta right there. You can't beat that.
Win.
And also tomorrow night, I'm hosting comedy at the Ramsey Golf and Country Club. So it's a much nicer arena, although I'm only hosting. It's the first time I'm hosting because I've done so many shows in Ramsey. Nobody wants to hear my shit anymore.
Well, I mean, you get to do like a couple jokes, right? And then
I'm going to do a couple local jokes. I'll throw in a joke or two. And then, I'm going to be like Sinatra at the Sands, bringing on Johnny Mathis.
The Ryan Marr guy is pretty cool. He started following me. He's a big wrestling fan. So
he was all, you know what? I told him I would bring this up on the air. He was like, dude, your guy Sturchio. I'm like, yeah, he's all over wrestling. I was like, follow him to get involved. He's like,
cool.
It's all those wrestlers that no one else knows but you two. Which brings us, of course, really quick, the Knicks. Dude, I'm sorry. The Knicks stink, bro. What?
It's not even November. Everybody calm down. What are we doing?
Dude, they stink.
But the Rangers, on the other hand, they won.
Let's go. First of all.
On the road, nonetheless.
First of all, November hockey. Okay, October hockey. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Better.
The Knicks. I swear, if I walked into the Knicks practice and I said, "Guys, we're going to play a game of horse with the Knicks," I think I would win the whole thing. I haven't shot a basketball in 2 years. They can't shoot. They can't score. Even guys from Villanova, and we have too many guys from Villanova.
Jimmy, they're 1-2.
But did you watch the games? They stink. They stink. Oh my God. I can't take it. Big shout out to Frank Howard, who passed away. That big 6'7" coach guy from the Mets. He passed away at 80 years old. He had 382 ding-dongs back in the day. Also, big shout out to World Series. Hey, Texas up 2-1. Nobody cares, but I love it because no matter who wins, I don't know fans of either team.
I watched what did I watch? It wasn't the World Series yet. I was watching, I think it was the AL. No, it was the World Series. The Mack Truck event. Yeah, I was in my hotel room. That was an experience in itself. But let me tell you something. I had all visions of just going out and raging and fucking partying. I was like, wow, they're putting me up at a casino. Are they nuts? I'm going to fucking be out all night at the poker. I was at the blackjack table for 20 minutes, doubled my money, said, you know what? I think I'm good.
And Dave Sturchio, married with 2 kids, is getting involved here. See that? You had a little angel on your shoulders.
Yeah, it was like, hey, listen, here's your money. You got paid very handsomely. Get on up and get out of there.
There you go. Good call. I agree with the call. I mean, you're a pussy, but I agree with the call right there.
I'm ready for this. 6 hands of blackjack. I hit blackjack 4 times.
Oh, you got to get out. You got to go. I agree with you. Totally agree. I would have left too. That happened to me once with.
And you got to see the faces of everybody around me. They're pissed. They're like, "What the fuck is this guy?" He comes in, sits down, leaves.
Looks like a fix.
Like a jerk off.
And I know you probably had like a shitty cowboy hat on. You were pissing everybody off. I'm sure.
Yeah, I had this.
Yeah, of course you did.
In Philadelphia area too.
I did that once with craps. I played craps, and I swear the 7 just—I don't know how to word it. It just didn't come out like. Nobody rolled a 7, which I felt was like a half hour. And if you play craps,
I gotta get retaught that game every time.
It's fun.
I have no idea how to play.
The only thing is, you got if you go on a Saturday night and the minimums are high, it costs you so much, and you got to have bankroll. In other words, you can lose $300 in 6 seconds, but you can win $900 in 6 seconds. So you got to be able to go backwards to go forwards. And to me, once I go backwards, that'll do it here. Jimmy's out. If I don't score on the first drive, I'm out. But I played blackjack. I was on a cruise ship, and I swear, like the lady next to me, I won like $1,000, and it was a smaller table. The lady next to me, I think, won 30 grand. She was like, she's like, sir, why aren't you getting, this is unheard of. Nobody rolled a 7. And like, she's like, get your money off the table. Get money. It's going to turn. It was a great time. Anyway, Pine Tar Bar and Grill, 121 South Main Street in Forked River, New Jersey, 609-489-4286. The best sports bar in the country. Tommy Plinio's there. Good food. Go check it out. Also, Lisa Ruane, therapist, 201-725-1251. If you're in a jam, you're a little banged up, not feeling so good, you're getting a little nuts in your head there, give Lisa a call, and she'll guide you through. She's a hypnotherapist, regular therapy. She does Zoom calls. in person, whatever you got to do.
Mm.
Please don't suffer alone. Go get some help. Lisa Ruane, 201-725-1251 here. All right. Well, we went a little long as usual, but that's it. So comedy this week, Rutgers big game this week. Go to Beer League, the series on YouTube, sign in and subscribe. And the Giants stink. That's all I got. A little nuts in your head, Robin and John. Yeah, that didn't sound right. I don't mean to say. No, if you know things are getting you're a little mouchard. You don't feel right. Go talk to Lisa Ruane.
Comes the cancel culture.
Yeah, no, cancel. I'm canceled. Robin and Johnny just canceled me. That's so funny. All right, Anthony Petito. You didn't answer whether you're a fat fuck or not. Though.
Yes,
no, he's still there. He's still there. He just wrote awesome show. Yeah, I want to know if nobody cares what your opinion is. We just want to know if you're a fat military guy who came home in shape and now you're a fat bastard. That's what we want to know. Anyway, thanks, Robin, for listening. And I owe you a call. I haven't talked to you in a long time. Anyway, all right, kids. That's it. Dave, thank you. And that's it. The Jimmy Palumbo Show 137.
He'll be back next week with a very special guest.
I'll be back next week with a very special guest. Yes, I might have a guest, and you met him. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. I don't even know how to shut this friggin' thing off. All right.
I'm leaving this. These are my favorite parts of the entire.
No, you know what it is? I don't know what I'm doing. There's all these buttons now. Everything changes.
Bitter old Jimmy just, I don't know.
No, now you got to click the button, and it doesn't. I just want to why can't you just pay me like $100,000 a year and I go in and I'll do this 24 hours a day? Instead, I get Patreon at 36 and dumping money into Beer League, the series. Oh my God. You know what? If I had a stadium, I'd have asshole day at the stadium and I would totally be the honoree. Here's a guy. I'm 58. I'm sluggish. All right. I'm going to go. Cowboys suck too. All right. We'll see you. Bye.